Hi everybody and welcome back to my channel. My name is Catherine and today's video is going to be a rotation in the Shop My Stash. So basically reviewing all of my November items, what I liked, what I used up, and then what I'm going to be using for December. So if that's something you want to watch, then please stick around. Alright, so if you are new to my channel, a basic overview of a Shop My Stash is basically I consider myself a beauty and makeup enthusiast and lover and collector, which is really just a nice way of saying a makeup hoarder. So Shop My Stash basically allows me to really put intentionality and focus on specific products. So I'm rotating out each month, hopefully, making a really good dent in things, possibly finishing up, panning things, as well as just making sure I'm actually using the products that I purchase so I don't go to waste or that they don't go to waste. So every month I pick out new items to focus on while also simultaneously reviewing the previous months. So first we will start with skincare. And one product that I actually was able to finish up was this Sunday Riley Good Genes. This is the all-in-one lactic acid treatment. Basically, I used it night and day as a way to clarify and reveal smoother, clearer skin by exfoliating dull, pore clogging, dead skin. So what I noticed with these products, and I've said it in multiple videos, is that they do take some time to build up to them. So you're not going to see a noticeable difference right off the bat, but if you are staying consistent with it, you should see a difference. And again, it exfoliates, so it kind of goes under those skin cells and brings up the gunk and kind of smooths it out. So I honestly think your skin kind of looks a little bit worse before it looks better. But if you stay consistent with it, it will look really nice afterwards. So this I used all the way up. This was not my favorite one. If you've watched any of my other favorite videos, you know that it's the Glow Recipe strawberry one, which actually I will be bringing into this month's rotation. So I will talk about it then, but that is more of my favorite. But this still was a really good one. For kind of a mixture of primer as well as moisturizer, I've been using the Ritual Defeat Thorn Oil Priming Facial Elixir. So although it looks very scary in this blood red color, it does not stay this color when you put it on your skin. I almost kind of call it it seems like a dry oil, if that makes sense. So it's not super greasy. It does do a really great job of moisturizing your skin without being too greasy or heavy or anything like that. So it makes it perfect for under makeup. I've also been using it before bed just to kind of make sure I'm using all these products up. This is pretty pricey. I did pick it up on the Ulta 21 Days of Beauty, the most recent one. So it was half off, and still even half off, it was pretty pricey. I think it retails for $64. It does kind of have a rose scent to it. So if you are sensitive to smells, I don't know if this one's going to be the best one for you. I mean, I don't think it's super overpowering some other things that I've smelled. But it does have a smell. It does dissipate, but just so you know. So this one, I should say, I will be rotating it into the next one as well. And then I will, because I'm almost done with it, I have a backup one too. As far as another primer, because the Ritual Defeat was kind of a moisturizer, I've been using the e.l.f. Power Grip Primer. This is the dupe to the Milk Makeup Hydro Grip. I still think the Milk one is better than this one. I feel like I have to use a few pumps to kind of get that tacky feeling or to feel like I'm getting enough on my skin. But this is a fraction of the cost of the Milk one. So something to consider if you are on a budget, but I do prefer the Milk one over this. Right, so as far as complexion products, I actually completely forgot to include a concealer last month, but this is the one that I've been using. This is the Becca and Smashbox, basically Smashbox bought out Becca, or at least some of their most popular products, because Becca is no longer a company. But so this is the what is this? The light under eye brightening corrector, and I have mine in the fair light shade, which is just a very soft pink. It is very creamy, but I don't notice a whole lot of creasing as long as you set it. You do, like, once you put it on, you do have to kind of like pat it out with like a sponge or something like that to make sure it doesn't crease, but then once you set it, I haven't noticed any problems with it. I think it works really well for both brightening and kind of coverage too. I mean, you wouldn't expect like a brightener to have some coverage, but I feel like it does. Is it the best one, like best concealer ever? No, but it's still pretty nice and it does a great job for what it's supposed to do. As far as not concealers, as far as foundations, I was actually using a mixture of the NARS, the Soft Matte Complete Foundation. I always do mine in Mont Blanc or Light 2. And then I also was using the Charlotte's Beautiful Skin Foundation. Mine is in the shade Neutral 2. I honestly think this is a little bit a twinge yellow for me, but mixing them together worked really well. It kind of gave the nice factors of the soft matte while also providing some like radiance from this one, and it didn't end up, because if you use this one by itself, like I have a like probably normal to combo oily skin, leaning oily these days, and this, if I use this on its own, I do notice that it doesn't last very long, but if I use these together, it lasts a little bit longer, and if I use this on its own, it lasts even longer. Like I said, this one's a little bit yellow for me. I probably could have used a different shade, but I still really enjoy it. I got good use out of both of them, and I still think that they both serve a purpose in my collection. And then as far as powder, I was using the Too Faced Peach Perfect powder, which honestly, I think this is a deluxe trial size that I've had forever in my just hoarding, basically, if you will. And I don't know if they make this anymore, actually. I did, when I was like linking these products down below, which I'll mention, all these products, I will have affiliated links down below. So if you do shop from them, thank you very much for doing so. It truly does help out me to continue doing this channel. It is at no cost to you, but obviously no pressure if that's not what you're wanting to do, but if you do, I really appreciate it. Anyways, getting back to this one. So when I was linking this, I think it is out of stock or discontinued or something like that. I found some like on eBay or Amazon, like private sellers, so just be aware of that. But this is the Peach Perfect Mattifying Loose Setting Powder infused with peach and sweet fig milk. So it kind of has a little bit, like, although it's mattifying, it still seemed a little bit luminous in my opinion as well, which I thought it actually was a really, really nice powder. Kind of sad that it's discontinued, but I'm glad that I still have some to use up. I mean, you can see I used probably about half of it. So I will keep this in my collection if you can find it, or if you have it, one of these deluxe trial sizes in your stuff, maybe pull it out because it is really nice. All right, so as far as highlighters, bronzers, and blushes, I was using the ColourPop blush in Love Story. This is what it looks like. So it's kind of actually one of those blushes that could kind of be like a blush bronzer duo with a little bit of shimmer in it. Really pretty. I like to kind of do like the W look over my face. So, you know, on the cheeks, on the nose, really pretty. This does need to be built up just a little bit. And I have noticed that it kind of dissipates pretty quickly. So don't be afraid to kind of load it up at the beginning because it will kind of sheer itself out. But again, really pretty. As far as bronzers slash contours, I was using this Milani liquid contour. This is from their Conceal and Perfect line. I use mine in the shade Honey or 01, and I do have a fair to light skin tone, neutral, kind of cool tone leaning. So this worked out really well. This is kind of similar to the Charlotte Tilbury contour one. I want to say the contour one from Charlotte Tilbury has a little bit more product in it, but this is definitely a fraction of the price. Do I think that they're exactly the same? Not really. I feel like the Charlotte Tilbury one actually blends out a little bit easier. Like you could do kind of dot out all of the product with the Charlotte Tilbury one and then go in and blend and have no problem. This one I noticed you don't want to do your whole face in it. You probably want to do maybe just a cheek at a time and then blend it out, because I did notice if you don't blend it super quickly, then you're gonna notice, like, have a noticeable line on your face of where you put it. So just be cautious of this, but I really did enjoy this. This was really great. Although I don't feel like they're the same, they are very comparable, would that be right? Like, I don't think they're dupes of each other, but similar, we'll just say that. And I really did like this color. The Charlotte Tilbury one is a little bit darker in tone, and although it's more jelly, so it kind of like gel-like, I should say, so it kind of shears out a little bit more, and this is a little bit lighter but still really pretty. And as far as powder bronzer, I was using the Nabla Skin Bronzing Sun-Kissed Effect Bronzing Powder, and I have mine in the shade Ambra, which I believe is their lightest shade. This is another thing that I've picked up at the Ulta 21 Days of Beauty. I think I picked this one up last year though. Really pretty. It does need a little bit building up, but I don't mind that, because you kind of have a little bit more control of how much you're putting on, but still really pretty. I mean, I use this almost every day, maybe not every day, but used it a good chunk of the week and or the month, I should say, and it barely looks like I used any of it. So really nice bronzing powder. And again, it's a little bit more cool tone, so for, you know, those neutral to fair, cool leaning guys or gals, look, anybody looking to bronze, this would be a good option. And then as far as highlighter, I used the Laura Mercier translucent loose setting powder in the light catcher. So this is the shimmery one, and mine is in Celestial Light. The intended purpose of this is actually to be an all over like setting powder. I shouldn't say setting powder, sorry, a finishing powder, but in my opinion it is way too shimmery to be an all over setting powder. So I just use mine as a highlighter, and if you use it as a highlighter, this thing will last you until like an apocalypse or something. This has so much product in it, but it is really pretty. It is more of the kind of that lit within look opposed to a super blinding highlight, which for an everyday look, that's kind of what I'm into. All right, so as far as eye products, the first one that I was using was the Kosas eyebrow mascara, something like that. I have mine in the shade dark brown. I actually misplaced this for a while, and I was using other items because this can be a little bit expensive. So I was like, I want to try to find something a little bit more comparable in a, you know, less expensive price range. But then I found this again and I realized, no, I really do like this. It not only adds pigment, but it also adds like fluff and fiber to it, which some of the other ones don't necessarily do that. They kind of do one or the other, and this one does both. And I also think it's a really great color match for me. My hair is a very dark brown, probably leaning a little bit black, so this dark brown color is perfect. My color is a mixture of warm and cool tones. This one is a little bit, I would say, on the more warm tone type of stuff, maybe leaning a little bit more neutral towards things, but I think it's a really great match. As far as mascara, I have really been enjoying this one, the Lottie Super Fake Mascara. Again, very small wand, very thin one with very small bristles. I have very hooded eyes, and I get very haphazard with my mascara. So something small and tiny like this is perfect for me. The formula, also great. It is kind of coming to the end of its life, and I've noticed that it is not as budge proof as it was before. Yesterday I noticed some, not necessarily flaking, but a little bit of transfer on the bottom, and I do not put mascara on my bottom lashes. So this, I can tell it's coming to the end of its life and it's just not as good as it used to be. I probably will rotate this a little bit longer in December, but I do already have another mascara that I'm going to use that I will share in a moment. As far as eyeshadow base primer, I've been using the Sigma base in the shade Persuade. This is really nice. Do I think it helps with longevity? Kind of. What I do is I'll put it on and I will kind of spread it out. I have been putting on a thinner layer, which is a little bit better in my opinion. Putting it on, spreading it out with an eyeshadow brush, and then you know, going immediately into eyeshadow. I do think it creases if you don't put your eyeshadow on immediately. The one gripe I have about this is that it's very soft. So when you are using it, only, you know, scroll up as much as you feel like you're going to use, because if not, it will break off. It's broken off twice on me the first time I used it actually. And then like a week or so ago, it broke off. So just be very cautious of that, because I mean, you don't want to be breaking off product and not being able to use it. You paid for all of it. You should use all of it. And then as far as eyeshadow palettes, so I was, you know, in the after Halloween, Dia de los Muertos, Thanksgiving vibes. So I was using my Melt Vida and Muerte palette. Vida being the more colorful tones, and to be honest, I really didn't get that much use out of either of these. I did make some really pretty looks though in some of my videos, and I'll possibly, if I editing Catherine, will put up some of the pictures of the looks I did. This one didn't get as much use as the Muerte palette, but I did make some pretty cool looks, and again, still super happy to have these in my collection. They are kind of collector's items in my opinion, and so, you know, they're kind of, this is my kind of go-to for like bright looks. And then for the Muerte palette, this is more of the deeper tones. Again, unfortunately didn't get as much use as I would have loved to out of it. I actually just didn't wear a lot of makeup in general this month. I was just happy kind of being a little bit more barefaced, just priming stuff, a little bit of concealer, a little bit of bronzer, and that was about it. I wasn't super into eyeshadow this month, but still super pretty. Again, made really pretty colors, really pretty looks out of this red, and then some of this blue as well. So again, super happy to have it in my collection, and that they re-released these, because these were like a holiday collection back in, I think, 2018. And then they, like, these were going on Mercari or Poshmark or pretty much any reselling place for like hundreds of dollars, because people wanted the set of them. And then they actually re-released them this past year. So I was happy to be able to pick both of them up. And then I usually always have some sort of neutral palette, just because it's nice to, you know, sometimes when you're not like want to feel super creative, a neutral look is a little bit easier because it's a little bit more go-to. So I use the Side by Side Nude palette by Nabla, and this is what it looks like. Again, super pretty tones. It kind of has more of these like warm tones and cooler tones and whatnot. This Magic Moment Rose Gold is actually super pretty. This Paradiso is gorgeous as well. Again, I just wasn't wearing a lot of eye makeup lately, so I didn't get as much use out of it as I thought I was going to. I pretty much just used Rarity to kind of set the eye primer, this Bonjour, and then sometimes this Burnt Sienna like in the crease, and that was pretty much my look all the time. But again, super pretty. I would recommend this for a neutral palette. A nice neutral like matte tones as well as shimmer tones, kind of those metallic shimmer tones. So yes. All right, so here is a recap of November's Shop My Stash. These products will be rolling over into December, and let's see what else I picked out. All right, so December is kind of going to be the month of like trying almost all new products. If you haven't seen my recent Sephora haul, I will link that up in the cards, but basically this is going to be a reiteration of it. some of it, but I did just do a big haul for the savings event, picked up some of my favorites like this Glow Recipe like I was talking about earlier, which will take place of the Sunday Riley one as like a exfoliating serum, and then as a nighttime moisturizer, I actually received this May Love the Night Renewer Glycolic Acid Cream in PR. And I had tried out their other moisturizer. I think it was like the Featherweight moisturizer, which was pretty good. Again, not too greasy, just like it says, a featherweight, but also very hydrating. So I'm going to try this one out as like a nighttime moisturizer. And then once the Thorn Oil decides it's done, I'm actually going to be using this Liss Beauty Think Bright Glow and Hydrating Serum with vitamin C and hyaluronic acid. This one I actually got in a BoxyCharm. So, and I mean, look how pretty that like glow is. So I figured that would be really pretty underneath makeup or even on its own. So when the Thorn Oil runs out, I will be turning to this one. All right, so as far as complexion products, this is where we're going to get into a lot of the new stuff. I am actually going to be doing the Haus Labs Triclone Skin Tech Foundation. I have mine in the shade 100 Light Neutral. I basically just like massacred that box. But this is what it looks like. I've heard really great things about it. I was actually on the fence about purchasing this. If you haven't seen my recommendation video or wish list video, I was kind of like, yeah, I don't know if I want this, but I ended up picking it up. So we'll see how it goes. Another foundation that I've heard great things about is the Ambient Soft Glow Foundation by Hourglass. I had mine in the shade 3. And this is what it looks like. So I will kind of be going back and forth between them, maybe even combining them. That's kind of my thing. I like to combine foundations to get the best properties from both. But I would definitely try them separately to see how they are and probably combine them too. As far as concealer, I'm going to be using the Charlotte Tilbury Beautiful Skin Radiant Concealer. This is in the shade 3 Fair Pale. And this is what it looks like. So we'll be excited to use that. And then for powder, and I'm gonna have to go grab my other powder and to accompany this one, but this is again the Haus Labs by Lady Gaga. This is the Translucent Bio Blurring Loose Setting Powder. And this is what it looks like. I believe they have a few shades and a few different undertones, but translucent was supposed to be for kind of like fair light. Let me go grab my other powder for under eyes. I will be right back. All right, I knew something didn't feel right. I wanted to use this other new powder by Charlotte Tilbury, the Airbrush. Again, this is their Airbrush Brightening Flawless Finish Complexion Perfecting Eye and Face Micro Powder. So basically I will be using this. I'm going to try it all over the face too, but majority under the eye as like a brightening powder. All right, so as far as bronzers and blushes, oh my gosh, I realized I didn't have a highlight in here. I'm sure I'll go pick a highlight too. I literally have just run back and forth between my collection storage. I'm not doing it again. I'll just put it in the I'll put it in the description below. So as far as bronzers, it's kind of a Charlotte Tilbury day. So I'm going to be using the Charlotte Tilbury Beautiful Skin Sun-Kissed Glow Bronzer. I have mine in the 1 Fair Pale. Really, really, really like this bronzer. I mean, it's ginormous. You can tell I've hit some major pan on it, but like the other stuff is like totally untouched. I kind of consider this like a cream to powder bronzer. So it definitely goes on a little bit creamy, but I don't want to say shears out, but it kind of blends out really nicely with no harsh lines. So I'm very excited to use this one again. And then I think probably the only older product that I have in this December Shop My Stash is the Milani Sunlight Silky Matte Bronzing Powder. So again, I always like to kind of have like more of a cream bronzer and then a powder bronzer to set it, and just like to have options. So again, this is really more cool tone leaning. So again, if you are, you know, on the cool tone, fair light skin type like myself, you might really enjoy this one. And then the bougiest of bougie blushes. I first have the Gucci blush in the Luminous Matte. This one is in first A. Look at this packaging. How gorgeous is that? This one is in Radiant Pink. And that is what it looks like. A little bit of shimmery, although it says it's matte. It's supposed to be a luminous matte. So yeah, there's that one. So that kind of like accompanies the pink looks. And then this is the Dior Backstage blush. Let's see if I can get it out. In the shade, no, not rosy gold, coral. So I talked about this in my haul too. So although this looks like, oh, this is a really pretty like peachy coral orangey blush, in fact, it is not. That is just the topper of it. It is definitely leaning a lot more coral pink once you open it up. Again, I haven't swatched this one yet, so I don't really know exactly what it looks like on the skin, but this will kind of serve as my more like orangey peachy blush. So this is kind of like the very viral. The other one is a little bit more like pinky lavender. That is supposed to like look gorgeous on everybody. I have something very similar to that, so I wanted to try out this one just to try the formula of the blush. So this is the mascara that I was going to replace the Lottie London one with. This is the Milani highly rated anti-gravity. Apparently there is just an anti-gravity one, but this is the highly rated one, which is supposedly is the better version. So if you have the choice between the two, apparently this one is supposed to be better. I am a little bit nervous about that one because it is very big. And like I said earlier, I have hooded eyes and I'm very haphazard with mascara. So we'll have to be a little bit more careful with that one, but I have heard great things about this. And then as far as eyeshadows, apparently it was just a Natasha Denona type of month. So this, we'll start with this one. This is the Zendo palette. This I actually received in a BoxyCharm. Crazy, right? Whole mini Natasha Denona palette in a BoxyCharm. It's just bananas. So this is kind of what it looks like on outside packaging, and then this is the inside packaging. So kind of a nice mixture of warm tones and then kind of more of these cool green and blue tones. So I thought I could make some really pretty looks with that one, and I wanted to try it out. So this is the Zendo palette. And then I recently picked up at the sale the Natasha Denona My Dream palette, this is one of the more recent palettes. I think the most recent one is actually the Glam Retro palette, which I'm not gonna lie, I don't like. I've seen a lot of reviews on it, and a lot of people kind of came to the same consensus that a lot of the colors are kind of redundant, and although they may look different in the pan, they don't actually seem different once you put them on your eyes. But this was the one that I liked. So again, kind of more of these warmer tones, but this one goes a little bit deeper than Zendo, just a few different types of shades. And again, I just really wanted to dive into this one and the Zendo and the Glam. So I know I probably won't get into all of them a lot, but I just wanted to see how each of them was. So super excited to try this one. And then, like I said, the last one was this mini Glam palette. I do actually have the mini Glam palette, but I was comparing these two, and they do seem a little bit different. I could totally be wrong, but I swatched some of the similar shades, and they just seemed a little bit different of tones. And I also got this one as a perfect like travel palette. You know, you can make a really pretty smoky eye looks with this. You can make very simple eye looks with this, you know, day to night type of palette for traveling. So I thought this was perfect, and again, wanted to try it out. So it is a Natasha December, apparently. Natasha Denona December is maybe what I should call this video. So again, let's do a recap of everything that I am using for December. All right, everybody, so this is what I'm going to be using up in December. Please, thank you. Well, I should say thank you so much for watching. I truly do appreciate it. Please consider subscribing to my channel if you like makeup content and reselling content. Those are the two things that I absolutely love to talk about. Also, please consider leaving a comment below of you know, have you tried these products before? Do you like these? Are you doing a Shop My Stash? You know, have you tried the 2 or 3 Natasha palettes? I always love hearing from you. And with that, I'll see you in my next video. Bye.